Well, Josh, I had a lovely weekend. Saturday and Sunday were just incredible. Got a little getaway with the lady. Had a nice had nice dinners, had nice lunches. We did a little walk around some small hill country Texas cities. Yeah, man, it was a great time. Really no stresses, honestly. I got away from football and played a little golf. Not very good, but you know how it is. And you're getting back into the barbecue game, Josh. Yeah, how's that going? Forgiving barbecues going?
Trying, dude. Trying to get away from whatever we want to watch on Saturdays that we're not seeing right
Or
now. But yeah,
Fridays? Yeah.
or Fridays, Sundays, whatever it is. But yeah,
Hmm.
barbecue business, not really business, just on the side gig is starting to get back into the swing of things and try to golf as much as I can, man. And it's not pretty some days, and some days it makes you feel real great, and then you want to forget it the next day. So kind of some correlations to what's going on down in Reeser and Corvallis, Oregon right now.
Yeah, when last time you played golf, what was your round? How'd you shoot?
I don't want to talk about that, Rob, because I don't want to jinx it next time I go out and play golf on Friday, because that's what's going to happen. Okay. I, for those that don't know, my wife works at a golf course, so I get a free membership. So I like to enjoy golfing in my spare time. And over the last few years, I've developed my golf game. I'm not here to brag about myself. I've developed a golf game that's got a handicap under 10, which I never thought in a million years would happen.
I can't even play with you,
So
man. Damn.
I'd be more than happy to play with you. I feel good about myself while you
I
don't
can't
feel
even break
great
a
about
hundred.
yourself. So that's good, right? We're playing basketball. That's pretty dang
Right, I
good,
got to play
bro.
more golf, right? That's the point of it, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, we're just staying busy and we changed it up this week, right? We had to. Because obviously, what we're doing right now is not working for this podcast or for this Oregon State football team. And Rob, I don't know what happened on Friday, but my lord, I think we can officially say we have found rock bottom and we have made zero effort to go up. We keep digging ourselves down through the bottom.
It was frustrating, man. It was a really, really frustrating night. It's just I was in an Airbnb watching it, and it was great vibes, man. At first, you're just like, all right, hey, the boys came to play, which is step one, right? Is like, hey, they showed up with a motivating and a little bit of confidence to them. It looked like they were playing well at first. Got off to a little bit of a rocky start, to giving the ball back and forth, but
But
overall,
you're telling me it's 14-0 and they won, right?
yeah, I mean, it feels like 14-0 for the Beavers is just an absolute hell sent because they never win those games. It feels like the lose big to lose small step in your rebuilding stage is always the most painful. And I made the point last week that teams who have not won yet, especially in late September, often don't know how to win. And that was the case on Friday night. You got an offensive play caller who just got way too conservative and just tried to burn clock. Your boy, now he's my boy too, Mr. Ryan Gunderson, man. He's got some issues with play calling late in games. And it's not even what he's calling. It's just like, why are you calling that play when you know it hasn't worked for you in like 2 years? It's that short inside dive, inside zone play where you're trying to get your running back downhill, pretty much up the butt of the center, and it hasn't worked at all. You're banking on your running back to break a tackle to start that play. It just hasn't worked in 2 years, and he just keeps on going to it over and over. You're trying to burn clock instead of moving the ball down the field. You can't do that with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You just can't. There's just too much ball game left. And yeah, man, it sucks. The game was great for 52 minutes, and then Houston got the ball with 8 minutes, and then they proceeded to get the ball two more times after that because your play caller just doesn't want to keep the ball anymore. So, I mean, there you go. Here we go. Here we are again. Stat wise, you should have won that game. Your net record is actually 3-2, and it's pathetic. I mean, you really should be 2-3, right? But you're 0-5 now. First time since 1996, right before Mike Riley took over. That's just unbelievable. I was 2 years old.
Let's sink in for a second.
Let
For
that
real
sink in,
though.
dude. Let
Yeah.
that sink in. He's knocking at the door. It's a sink. Let it in. And sorry, really bad joke. I'm trying to keep it light, man. It sucks over here.
That's what it's come to,
Dude,
man.
Friday night, man. It was Saturday morning when the game was over for me. I was in like breakdown mode. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, and you know what's funny is Josh, the play for me when it was the oh crap, here we go kind of play, it wasn't their touchdown where Trey Glasper got burnt down the right sideline. It was that 3rd and 17 play where every single defensive back is just playing at the first down marker and they're just like, go ahead and get however many yards you want.
Yeah,
And they got like 14 and it made it like a fourth and super manageable. That was the play. I was like, uh-oh, this is about to turn on us
it's
really
done.
quick.
Yeah,
And it did. And I mentioned Trey Glasper. He had a pretty good game. You know, the interception early on was great. That kid is his so well spoken. His interview last week was so great. He's got his head on straight. He's a good kid. Unfortunately, he's young. He just turned 18. The ball got thrown over his head for a touchdown to put him in within 7. And then it's like, oh, now we have to burn clock. We have to have a good drive and we have to get into our regular offense again. But no, Gunnarsson does the stuff that we don't love. So, yeah, man, I just
it's
I
it's
don't know
the
where to go.
same crap every single week, and you haven't even touched on it, but my main points this whole year started last year was number one, it's Gunderson. Okay. This year, the quick second that might be tied first for this is what the hell are we doing on special teams? Like I just the frustration there watching it, and I think it's so funny because I think we texted each other at the exact same time when we were getting ready to kick that go-ahead field goal, and we literally said, I tweeted it right before I texted you. I said, we're gonna miss this. Like, it's gonna get blocked. Like, we just know it's gonna happen. That's not okay. Like, that's so far lost in a realm world that you just don't have any idea what's going on. And the frustration of sitting here watching this is just, I'm probably getting more gray hair than I've ever will ever have in my life. Like, it's just so like it's so sick. Like, and I was texting my aunt. I sent you some pictures. Like, we knew no one was showing up for that game, and I don't remember who tweeted it out on social media before the game. But when you go look at tickets online, like, there's rows upon rows available for that game. It's a Friday night. Yeah, it's tough, maybe, but if it's a priority for you, and granted, I shouldn't be speaking because I didn't go to the game. I had a fundraiser I was at, but tickets were $8, dude. That that's nothing to go see a college football game. Like, we're at, are at a critical juncture in this season. I've said that every freaking week. I'm gonna keep saying it until we win a football game, Rob. This fan base, the so-called fan base, is awful. It sucks. We're so fair weather. Like, it's, I don't understand for a football team that historically hasn't been great. There's been great seasons for many years, right? How can you still be like this? Like, I don't understand what some of these fans are thinking. Like, you're going to the Texas Tech game, bro. Like, you're spending lots of money. What are you expecting to go see? Like, you're disappointed and upset with what the product you saw on the field. Like, what did you think you were going to go see? Same with Oregon. Like, what if you're going to be mad and pissed off about what you're seeing on the field? Please explain to me what I'm not seeing, what you're not seeing, that makes you think that they're going to go out and compete with some of these teams. It's just not going to happen. And then you roll in Friday night against a Houston team that I didn't think they were going to win. Was really hoping that they were going to find a way to win. You get up 14-0. You're starting to feel pretty good about yourself. But then I'm telling people, like, they haven't played a complete game yet. What are we doing? Like, this is not even close to
Mm-hmm.
being over. And then every single one of those puzzle pieces that you don't want to start falling into place, they start doing it. You
Yep.
got Coach Gunderson running run, pass, punt. You got Gundy pulling out Malik Murphy for quarterback sneaks for our backup quarterback that's 5 feet smaller than Malik Murphy is. Can't kick a freaking field goal to save your life. Like,
No.
it's the same
Uh,
crap every week. There's nothing else to talk about. And we can sit here and blame whoever we want for it, but until there's any accountability in this coaching staff, it's nothing's going to change. And fortunately, Bray came out and said there's going to be no coaching staff changes, which, small picture, I understand that, right? I get it. But with what he said and everything that lines up behind it, there is zero reason Coach Christensen should be still coaching right now. Zero. There's absolutely no reason to. It's just so mind blowing to me, and I'm done ranting about it. But it's just, I, I, I think they have an opportunity to beat App State this week. I don't know if they can though.
And we have Adam Witten on this podcast. You guys will hear him in a little bit, and he gets to talk a little bit about the Neers, the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. I put Appalachian State just so we can pronounce it correctly. I think I already just said it wrong.
Yes.
But you mentioned it's Coach Christian. I think you said Christensen. But yeah,
Excuse me. Sorry.
it's just gotten to a point, man. And in today's press conference, his weekly press conference from Trent Bray, he basically reiterated his faith in Coach Jamie Christian, and that is an issue for me. I think that's the first thing Trent Bray said in the press conference where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't reiterate faith in a guy that has, according to PFF, the 133rd out of 136 teams. That's what they're ranked, special teams. That's horrible. That is downright just, it's, you just can't. It's unacceptable. You can't sit there and be like, yeah, I have faith in this guy. He's going to get it right. Just look at the way Houston lined up on the game, a potential game-winning kick of Cam Smith, and the whole operation right now is just hope and pray. Just like what Jamie Christian said before the season. He's like, I just hope and pray a kicker when he gives you out there. Yeah, it's really working a lot, Jamie. It's really doing a whole lot. Just hoping and praying. How about you coach him something? How about you teach him up something? Because Gabe Milborn is out on an island over there, blocking the edge of three guys, and he's just got both of his arms out, praying that none of these guys get through. Obviously, two of them get through. And on the other side of it, Bryce Caulfield, earlier in the game, he's just letting Latrell McCutcheon, who, by the way, was in Friday Night Tykes, if you ever watched that show. How old do you feel now? Latrell McCutcheon just comes around the edge because Bryce Caulfield's not blocking him. He's just letting him go. And I think that's a credit to, we have two slow-footed tight ends on the edge of our field goal unit. And obviously they're struggling to keep that edge sealed. And also at the same time, the snapping obviously is not trustworthy because kickers are waiting. Caleb Ojeda waited. Cam Smith waited. They are waiting for the ball to get down on the ground before they start going. It needs to be once the ball is snapped, the kicker should already be going towards the holder. And the rhythm is just completely off with this special teams unit, man, and it is so pathetic. Josh, when Malik Murphy made that incredible play, probably one of Malik's best plays as a Beaver, to get the ball down to Trent Walker. Great throw. You're perfectly in field goal range. And this is a very makeable kick for a lot of college kickers. My first thought is like, this doesn't matter. This is not going in.
No.
It's just no point. Why are we celebrating like we just won the game? We are not making this kick. That's how bad it is right now. And it's a miracle they even made a field goal in this game. The way that Houston was lining up against them, it's because they didn't really try. If they wanted to, they could have blocked every single kick around the edge.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to sit here and I'm probably going to talk about it next week and the week after that until maybe the bye week when they finally can his ass, because it's $300,000. You're giving money away. Jamie Christian should be donating this money to charity. It is ridiculous. You are stealing money. This is the worst unit in the country. It's a joke. And again, I didn't watch that much football on Saturday. But of the small things that I did watch, it's incredible watching other teams just kick field goals regularly and just with ease. There's never an issue. They snapped it well. They held it well. They kicked it through the uprights. Kicking in college football over the last 10 years has revolutionized. It has gotten so good. But not in Corvallis, Oregon. It has gotten to the point where it's worse than most middle school, junior high teams, man. It's a joke. It's like, and my buddies are like, wow, it looks like they're going to pull it off tonight. I'm like, no, they're not. It's over.
No, sorry.
And then in overtime, it's 4th and 1. You just, like you mentioned, you have your backup quarterback in there because Malik banged his hand on a helmet and got hurt, so he couldn't go under center. Oh, let's bring in our 5'10" quarterback who's never done a quarterback sneak at Oregon State. And here's my thing, okay? The tush push. It's allowed in college, right? You can push guys. Yeah? Why is Jake Reichel? Why is Gabe Milborn? Why is Bryce Caulfield not behind Jabari Johnson in that situation? What the hell are we doing? it's Looney Tunes out there. We're a clown show. It's a circus, dude. And then, oh, that didn't work. Let's bring Malik back in for a shotgun snap, and let's hope Cornell Hatcher can find a hole here on this inside dive that I mentioned that never flipping works, dude. It's just so obvious, and it's just painful to watch. It's a game you should have won. It's 24-10 with 8 minutes to go. It's it's ridiculous, man. The overtime is just one of the more frustrating things. And the game was over once, Houston got the ball back. They get down inside the 5 with Dean Connors, and then their kicker does the gun celebration towards our sideline. We'll tuck that away for next season when we go down to Houston. But yeah, man, that's just the nutshell of Oregon State football currently is that game. You played so well for 52 minutes. I'm heartbroken for guys like Skylar Thomas and Trent Walker who had great games. Aiden Sullivan was a stud, dude. 13 tackles. Did we find our running back one in Cornell Hatcher?
Oh,
Maybe.
heck yeah, we
17
did.
carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown. He looked awesome, man. My problem still is with our quarterback. You're making $1.5 million to miss throws. Big, easy throws, man. You have a big arm, but fundamentally, from the waist down, he is a bad quarterback. His footwork sucks. He's off his back foot way too much. He's just relying on his arm to make throws all the time. And again, that throw to Taz Reddix down the right sideline is just like that should have been a walk-in touchdown because the safety wasn't even over there yet. And he throws it short. Taz has to go make an adjustment and try to dive for it, and he drops it. Should he cuff the ball? Maybe. It's a bad throw. It's a bad throw. And that is the difference in the game because later on, yeah, you had to play to Trent. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter. You can't kick a field goal. If you get that play to Taz, you have a lot more time to get the ball into the end zone. And here we are, 0-5, man. 1996 all over again. Jerry Pettibone is back, apparently. And Trent Bray, I'm losing my faith really fast, dude. He's got to figure this thing out. And can this team rattle off 6 in a row? Josh, do you think they can?
I, you want me to be honest with you right
You're
now?
going to say no. You're going to say no.
I don't think they can. I don't think so.
I think they can. I think they can because the schedule sucks. All these teams Ritz weight stink. They're horrible.
The thing is, Houston didn't look that good to me. Like,
no, they're
they
not.
looked
They're not. No, they're not a good team. They're not that good.
that
Connor Wegman is completely overrated.
no,
One of the most
yeah,
overrated 5 stars I've ever seen in my life. And you made him look like Jesus in the fourth quarter.
for
It's
sure.
just
That's the issue. But I was texting my aunt. She's you guys heard it a million times. She's a season ticket holder. She was at the game Friday, and uh, I was like, I literally said like late in the fourth quarter, I'm like, we're so bad, and she's like, I've seen some improvement. They had some players that played very well tonight, but the thing for her is this is what she says: we need a better quarterback. She's not wrong by any means. Like the quarterback that you're throwing out there right now is it again. I love Malik. I'm thankful he came to Oregon State, right? But I don't. When we're talking to Adam about it, I don't understand what the disconnect is from Duke to Corvallis this year. And then she reminded me that former Oregon State coach Jonathan Smith, he once said this: "You have to learn how to win." They got themselves in that position. They just can't get over the hump right now, and that's literally what they have to do. They have to learn how to win a football game right now, and I think this week going down and playing App State after talking to Adam, I have a little bit of hope going into this game just because it seems like it's two struggling football programs right now trying to find their identity still. You have an 0-5 Oregon State team, you have a 2-2 App State team. They're struggling offensively really bad right now. And it kind of feels like what that's what Oregon State's doing. And everything Adam, you guys will hear, everything Adam was talking about was like he's barking up the wrong tree. Like, dude, we already know, like, we're struggling with the same exact things. And so if Malik plays this week, I I have to see him go out and I have to see him play competitive football because I'm tired of talking about, again, the 1.5 million has nothing to do with this. Right now, I don't know if he necessarily looks like a starting quarterback anywhere right now in college football. And that might be a little too harsh of me to say, but what has he done for this Oregon State team to be like, dang, that's Malik Murphy. That's the Duke quarterback I know of last year. Nothing. He hasn't. There hasn't been one game that I can point at and be like, wow, Malik actually
I
looked
mean, maybe
competent in that game.
the drive against Fresno State where they scored late, that was like, hey, that's the quarterback we got right there. That's the one
Maybe,
time we've seen it.
and they used them. They rolled him out a lot more in that game, and I don't know if that's just the key to Malik being successful because we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that since. They don't. They refuse to roll him out, and they feels like Gunnarsson refuses to put him in any kind of situation where he can be successful. So defensively, I'm not mad at what we saw defensively for 3 quarters last week. The the dude came out line. The defensive line looked great again.
Yeah, they
Skylar
look
Thompson is
again
just a
improving.
dog, just a dog.
Yeah.
And that kid goes out with so much heart each and every week, and he puts it on the line, dude. And I appreciate that. I love him so much for that. But I don't know, bro. There's keys to the game that we're gonna give. There's worries to the game. I don't know right now. I literally don't. Like, what does this Oregon State team have to go out and do this week to win a football game?
It really dude, it again, it comes down to motivation and confidence. And you just got to keep your foot on the gas pedal in the fourth quarter if you have a lead. I pray Ryan Gunnarsson has learned his lesson from this. You can't just stop playing. You can't just be like, let's hand the ball, get a yard, and let's burn 40 seconds here. That's not going to win you a game. It literally never works. Playing not to lose always gets you a loss. It never wins football games. If you're nervous about Malik Murphy throwing the ball late in the game because maybe you're not trusting him to complete passes, okay, that's one thing. But you got to scheme up easy passes. You got to scheme up easy reads, easy catches. And I know Trent Walker is pretty sure hands. Okay, Taz Reddick's maybe not so much, but Bryce Caulfield's been emerging a little bit. Yeah, he's got some fumble issues, and that's definitely something that I don't love. But well, you'll listen to Adam Witten, and I want you guys to make your own assumptions about what this team is facing coming up. Because look, like I said, the rest of these teams stink, man. It's time. We gotta get going now. If you can't win 5 of these next 6, okay, because I think Wake Forest is going to be a little bit tougher than originally thought of. But if you can't win 5 of these next 6, dude, there's serious issues in Oregon State football because you cannot have a repeat offense last year when you're losing to Air Force and San Jose State and Nevada. We got to get over these things. It happens now. It's this week. When you get on that plane on Thursday, it's this week and go. Any last thoughts about Houston before we get into Adam Witten, Josh?
Yeah, just real quick. I texted you about this during the game on Friday, but offensively looking at this team right now, is there something that this Oregon State team's missing right now that you're like, man, they could really use this right now?
What are you thinking?
I texted you on Thursday, a wide receiver that we don't have right now.
Does he have a torn Achilles by chance?
Yeah, bingo. That they're missing a Darius Clemens right now. That's what
They are.
they rely so heavy on Trent. It sucks because it puts a lot of pressure on a guy, right? Hey, Malik's going to throw you the ball. It feels like 98% of the time. You have to do your thing. If you don't, then the success of the offense just isn't going to be there. But not having a big physical body like Clemens, a dude that physical, I just miss his energy. Like the dude would bark. Oregon State needs that guy right now. It's not funny. Like they need a guy that's willing to go out and do that.
I know.
They don't. They just don't have any life right now. It's dead.
I
And
know.
even when you watch these games, the offense, like Malik looks dead half the time, like throwing some of these balls, like, and then he's like looking around, like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? Like, it's so frustrating, Rob. And like, we're gonna come out. I have a very bad feeling we're gonna talk about this again next week, and I don't want it to be that. I want them to go out and I want them to play 4 quarters of great football against App State. I just don't know if they can convince themselves to do it.
That's again, that is the key to the rest of the season. If the Oregon State's going to have some leads in these next handful of games, it's how they handle that lead, and it starts on Saturday. Man, they just have to finish a game. They have to close it out. Do whatever it takes. Just keep the foot on the gas, Mr. Gunderson. Please don't get conservative and do not rely on your special teams to do anything for you because they can't. You got to get the ball over the line. We got to get 6 points every single time, and then maybe we can kick a PAT. We'll see. But yeah, it's all about just being aggressive. We cannot sit back and just hope and pray that this game is just going to end. You can't. There is no true clock in real life. It's not NCAA football, dude. You got to get after it. You can't play to lose. Play not to lose. Sorry. Hope you guys enjoy it, man. This is App State play-by-play man Adam Witten. We are now joined by an App State alum, play-by-play voice of the Mountaineers, the Neers, Mr. Adam Witten. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know it is late for you on a Monday night to do this for Chainsaw Crew, but we appreciate you, man. How you doing? How's your football season going?
I'm good, guys. Our football season isn't going well as of the last two games. Got off to a 2-0 start for the first time in 6 years, but last two games have not been great for us. But I just appreciate that we're not doing this at like 8:30 or 8 o'clock Pacific time.
That's this. It's going to be a crazy haul for Oregon State too, because they're leaving a day earlier than they normally would for most road games. So it's going to be a little bit different. But I really wanted to start this off with, first of all, just our condolences for the passing of Sean Clark. Man, I remember that Texas A&M win so well. That was just another iconic App State win on the road at a Power Five program. He seemed like such a great leader of young men. Just really quick, could you tell the listeners about him and his impact at App State?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to speak about him. He is, I think the way that I phrased it in a conversation last week was he personified Mountaineer and the culture that we have there. And I mean, you can understand how that could happen as somebody that played there in the mid 90s, was an All-American, was an assistant coach going back to 2016, took over as the head coach in 2020. Just a beloved figure in for anybody that was teammates with him, that coached with him, that played for him, that was recruited by him, but didn't end up coming to Boone. And for me, he was a friend. I knew him and worked alongside him for 10 years from when he came back to Boone in 2016 and all the way through the 2024 season. So, yeah, it was really emotional last week for a lot of people because it hits so many people in so many different ways amongst the App State community. And the thing that I guess you do appreciate is you get to see and hear all the ways that he touched so many different people's lives through the outpouring of messages and photos and videos. And I even spent time a couple of nights last week just scrolling through my phone back at pictures and our text message thread and just all the different things we sent back and forth. And yeah, very special person.
And we know how it is with the Oregon State family too, because a ton of alumni come back and coach and give back to their alumni. And that it's just so heartbreaking to hear a story like that because again, he just seemed like such a great dude. Everybody was really touched when I just seen all the stuff on social media right after he passed. I seen all the great videos, his post game interviews. He just seemed like such a good dude, and that's such a tough loss for college football and not just App State. It's the entire country loses a great man. And we were talking a little bit beforehand, just to move on to something a little bit lighter. You guys just had to travel a little bit to the West Coast, to Idaho. Besides the game, I know it was tough. The passing game has its issues. We'll get to that in a second. But how was Boise besides the game?
Yeah, the way I described it was I was only there for about 48 hours total and enjoyed 44 of them. So, you know, um, yeah, that was an interesting game for us because it was a little bit of how we were going to stack up against a program that, look, I can't say this is like the official stance of people affiliated with the football program, but it's the way that I feel. And I think there's a lot of people that would agree with this. App State would love to become the Boise State of the East. And that's something that we've been talking about since we made the jump to the FBS. There's a lot of similarities just in terms of the culture of the programs and the towns. Boise's a bigger city than Boone, North Carolina, but at the same time, it's the community support. They've sold out now 10 straight home games. We're going to sell out our 14th straight home game against Oregon State. We sell out of season tickets now year after year, similar size stadiums, between 30 and 40,000. And so there's a lot of parallels between those two programs. But the one thing that App has not done yet is, play in those big bowl games, make it to the college football playoff. But those are all things on our checklist of goals in terms of where we want to get to as a program. So it's great to be able to play games like that against Boise State. They're going to come to Boone in 2027, but it was a really cool experience to see it from the other side in terms of like when people come to Boone, they say, "Oh, this is Like we've had people transfer in from big time programs. We've got guys that come in from places like Michigan and Arkansas and South Carolina, and they say, yeah, this atmosphere is as good as we've seen, good as we've experienced. And to see it from the other side at a place like Boise State was really fun. And we traveled hundreds of fans out there. Everybody had great things to say about their experience. Again, I think most people, with the exception of a little 4 hour block of time on Saturday night, really enjoyed their time out there.
Yeah, and it must be nice to sell out stadiums because here in Corvallis, we're struggling to do that right now. But like Boise State, this is a matchup I think that we never thought would happen. And it looks like as of right now, App State will make the return trip to Corvallis in 2032. It could be sooner if the scheduling agreement is made. But what are your thoughts on the current landscape and puzzling of scheduling together in today's college football?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, guys, like I'm extremely grateful, and I think maybe you'll find this hopefully with in some ways with the new look Pac-12 next year, but we're extremely grateful to be in a conference that still believes in the regionality of college football because that's the foundation of the sport, right? For the Sun Belt, that trip to Boise is the last time we're going to get onto a plane in the regular season. So all of our remaining road games are drivable and easy drives, like with less than 6 hours for all of them. And so that means your fans can go watch you play. You don't have to travel all these crazy scenarios to get to where you're going. I mean, look, it's exhausting traveling across multiple time zones. And when you're in Boone, it's not just the 4.5 hour flight out to Boise, crossing two time zones. You're also driving 2 hours to get to Charlotte, which is where the team had to fly out of. So it's all of that because Boone is not close to a major airport. And so for reasons like that, like we are extremely thankful to be in a conference that is predicated on regionality. So, after this game, we're going to go on the road and we're going to play Georgia State in Atlanta, which is a 4.5 hour bus ride from Boone. And we have huge alumni bases in Atlanta and Charlotte, which is a few hours away. Families can go see their kids play. There's all good things about that. And so I just remember being out there and thinking to myself, man, for conferences that have to do this on a regular basis to play these conference road games now, that's tough, man. It's tougher than people realize. And I realize I'm gonna go back to John quote John Hamm and be like, that's what the money's for, right? But um at the same time, like we're extremely, I think, we're in a good place. We love the fact that we get to play regional games and don't have to necessarily go through all the things you have to do to get from one side of the country to the other.
And it's funny that you mentioned, just the far traveling. We see it and we hear it from the 10 schools that left the Pac-12, and there Lincoln Riley's always crying about it. And then there's Dan Lanning, who recently made a comment about how far they had to travel. And it's just like, this is what a lot of you guys signed up for, right? Going to a different conference and making these travels all the way to Pennsylvania. And then, USC's playing Rutgers. It's ridiculous what college football has gotten to. And I'm happy the Sun Belt is about regionality, and the new Pac-12 is also going to be about that as well. But I also kind of heard some parallels just now about, not that close to an airport. You guys have a beautiful fall setting. It sounds a lot like Corvallis, not that close to an airport, really pretty in the fall. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about Boone and some of our fans who will be making the trip? What can they expect out of Boone, North Carolina?
Well, they're coming at the right time because the month of October is about as good as it gets in the mountains of North Carolina, not just Boone, but the entire mountain range of North Carolina. It won't quite be at the point like the one of the things that people love about the fall is the changing colors of the leaves. We won't quite be at that point yet where you'll see a lot of it. You'll see a few touches of it. But the temperature will be cool. I mean, it never gets really hot in Boone anyway. Like the hottest it gets is maybe 85 degrees at the highest. So, assuming the weather's clear, I haven't looked far out enough to even look at Saturday. I try not to jinx things that way, but you're probably looking at on a nice day in October, highs in the 70s, no humidity, might get a touch of a chill in the high 50s or low 50s when it gets into the fourth quarter of the game, but there's so much in the outdoors to explore. I don't know a lot about Corvallis yet, but I would imagine there are some similarities just in terms of the things you can do around the football game. We have a great local economy, great downtown, wonderful restaurants. So we hope people that make the trip get a chance to experience places like King Street, and go out to other towns like Blowing Rock, experience the Blue Ridge Parkway, do some hikes, go see some waterfalls. There's a lot to do in Boone, and in terms of just the comfort and the picturesque setting, early October is hard to beat in where we are.
Sounds awesome, dude. And changing the colors, it's like what Corvallis is. That's what everybody loves about Corvallis, especially. And you, as an App State guy, a lot of notable alumni to go there, not just athletes. You bleed that near, man. You're through and through. You started there, left, and came back. What does Boone and App State mean to you and your circle?
It's a place that just grabs a hold of you, man. And it once it sinks its claws into you, it just doesn't let go. And players feel that, alums feel that. There's so many people that just say, "Man, I wish I could get back to Boone." And they go back there all the time as much as possible for not even just football games, but it's great to go during the summer. You go there for skiing. It's it really is even though the town is growing and the enrollment is probably about 10,000 more than it was when I was in school, it still has that small community family vibe to it. And it's a special place, man. It really is. And I don't live in Boone, honestly. I live in Winston-Salem, which is about 90 minutes away, but it's an easy drive. And it's just it's a place that you don't really understand it until you go there. And we talk about that when it comes to recruiting. A lot of our coaches will say, if we can just get people here, we got them. Because, if you recruit people outside the state or outside the region, like maybe you go into the state of Florida to recruit some players and they may not have heard of App State or Boone, North Carolina. And so for those players, we just say, once we get them here, again, it'll sink its claws into you the way that it did for people like me as well. And so I'm, very blessed to still be a part of that place.
That's awesome. I think kind of like what Rob touched on. Sounds like it's pretty similar to what we got here in Corvallis, and used to be the college town of the Pac-12. So it's crazy moving on from that and recruiting just nowadays, especially how crazy it is with the NIL and all that stuff. Us Beaver fans feel like we're kind of like a farm system to some of these bigger schools here in college football. Have you guys seen an impact with the NIL and kind of what just the gravity of the situation that we're dealing with in college football right now?
Yeah, for sure. We've experienced it. We've experienced it on both sides. We've been the beneficiary of guys coming out of the transfer portal, and we've seen it, go the other direction where guys have great years for us or great multiple seasons for us, and they get poached by I don't we hesitate to say like better programs, but we say just programs with more money, programs with more resources, not necessarily better programs. Like you may not go win more games if you go to those places, but maybe you'll make more money out there. So it's tough, man. Like this level of college football, it's very challenging to build sustained success. But what we noticed is that the reason that a program like Boise State can be as successful as they are is because they are able to retain not just their players, but every member of their coaching staff this year is the same as it was a year ago. They lost 6 players off their 2 deep to the transfer portal from a playoff team. So there are ways that you can get through some of those challenges, but you got to continue to try to figure out how to retain the people on your roster. And that's something we're still working toward because again, we're a program with a lot of resources, but at the same time, like we haven't been FBS for that long. Like Boise State's got 15 years on us in terms of how long they've been doing this. So, we're still kind of in those infancy stages, but we're growing at such a rapid rate. But we're watching Joey Aguilar go out there and toss it around for Tennessee, knowing that he was our quarterback, a couple of years ago. Santana Hopper at a place like Tulane, who just got named Conference Defensive Player of the Week. And so we've seen some of that, but hey, we've got guys like Jaden Barnes that have transferred in and made a huge impact. Rashad DeBinion coming over from Arkansas, running back, and making a huge impact on the offensive side. So it giveth and it taketh away. But it's we know that the key to being a successful program at this level is trying to have retention. And, we don't want to have 56 new players every year. We don't want to have 37 transfers every year. We had to do that because that's kind of the byproduct of a coaching staff. But at the end of the day, App State's going to be successful as a developmental program. And that's what Dow Loggins is trying to build now.
For sure. And speaking of running backs, let's just hop forward to Saturday real quick. You guys are 2-2 right now. It's been hard to gauge kind of the Mountaineers right now in this season. We see on paper they got a good run D, an offense that can get up and down the field. What can us Oregon State fans expect to see on Saturday as we take on the Mountaineers?
Man, that's the $1 million question right now because what we hope that you're going to see is you're going to see a team that can finally stop getting in its own way. That's been the challenge with App State. Now, look, Boise State's a really good team. I'm not going to say that the reason that App State lost to Boise State is because it beat itself. But at the same time, App State gave Boise plenty of opportunities to capitalize on mistakes, penalties, turnovers. 2 pick sixes were thrown in the game. AJ Swan threw 3 red zone interceptions in the Southern Miss game. And so we are just having a difficult time keeping the ball and avoiding those catastrophic mistakes. It is a team that can move the ball. We were challenged to move the ball through the air against Boise State, but the things that we have done well pretty consistently in each game is we've run the ball well and we've stopped the run. Even against Boise, yeah, you look at them, okay, they had 150 or whatever yards it was. We held them to 100 yards less than what their average is on the season. Now, they threw the ball around a lot because we couldn't pressure the quarterback, and we couldn't throw the ball because they were pressuring our quarterback like crazy, and we couldn't protect. But we have a consistent and effective ground game, and we are consistent in stopping the run. Now we've just got to balance it out and play more complementary on both sides of the ball. So, but the biggest thing that we hope that this team will finally be able to do is eliminate the major mistakes, the game swinging turnovers, the penalties that give teams a new set of downs because you jump off sides on 3rd and 4. Those are the types of things where, we just got to stop stubbing our toe in big spots.
You mentioned AJ Swan, a couple of tough games, throwing interceptions. His TD to interception ratio right now is 1-1, 6-6. He's got some talent for sure. You can see it in spurts, but definitely a tough night in Boise. Are the Neers fans a little bit worried about this quarterback room going forward in this season?
I mean, I'd say, fans are going to say that kind of thing because you see the numbers. Again, when you throw interceptions, it's going to make the quarterback a lightning rod. We understand that, but you can't. I won't pin this all on AJ Swan. Like I mentioned, he was under heavy pressure from Boise all night long. We played 3 quarterbacks in the game against Southern Miss because AJ got hurt in the second quarter. We brought in 2 more quarterbacks late in the game when it was out of hand in Noah Gillen and Billy Wiles against Boise State. And all of them struggled with the same thing. It was having time to deliver the ball to open receivers. I mean, that sounds very simple, but it is a collective thing on the offense. You got to give the quarterback time. The quarterback has to make the right decisions, and the receivers got to get open. Especially if a team is loading the box and trying to bring 6, 7 guys at times and just playing man coverage behind it. If your receivers can't get open in those one-on-one matchups, what's a quarterback supposed to do in that situation, right? So I think the concerns on the offense go beyond just one player. It's a team effort, and so that's AJ's. He took some hits, man. He took a lot of hits in that game, not just the 3 times he was sacked, but he got hit a lot when he let the ball go. And so he's also, he left the game with an injury in the second quarter. So he's battling. He really is. And he's going to try to fight through it. He's had a good attitude through all of this. When he comes to practice, he's very upbeat. He puts all those things behind him. He's ready to work. But as a whole, when it comes to the passing game, I think everybody can take a little bit of a challenge to make what they do impact it for the better.
And really, what it sounds like to me is Saturday, we're going to get a get right game for one of these teams because everything that you just said is every concern we have with this Oregon State team right now. Got a quarterback, Malik Murphy, that just offensive line has struggled. They're just trying to establish a running game. They just don't have an identity right now, 5 games into this season. And I'm sure we got some App State fans seeing an 0-5 team coming down there. From your research, what does this Oregon State team do that could cause some issues for this App State team this weekend?
Well, I mean, for one, the 0-5 thing is not something that our folks are paying attention to. And I told you guys before we pressed record, I did the very quick math of just, hey, their combined record of the teams they've lost to is 21-2, right? So we know how challenging the schedule has been. I mean, Oregon, Texas Tech, even Houston, which, I mean, that was a winnable game, right? You let one slip away there.
Ugh,
So
Adam.
yeah, I know. I'm scar tissue there. I understand. So I think the things that concern, Murphy's concerning. I mean, he is a dynamic quarterback that can just make plays. Now, again, with someone like that, you take some of the good with the bad, but when you're a playmaker and that's the mentality you have, you have to kind of live with some of that stuff. But I think the fact that you guys have at some key positions, you have veteran players, guys that have been around the program for a while, especially at running back. That's, when you've got that homegrown talent like Boise does, we know how effective it can be and how that chemistry can really be built. Now, that's not everybody on the squad, but at some key positions, that's what you've got. So we know that, hey, there's a couple ways you can look at a record of 0-5. You can say, oh, this team, maybe it's just not their year. Or you can say, well, they're due. And look, I mean, it's very cliche to say this team is not what their record says that they are. I know you guys are probably hearing that all the time, but that's the way that we're treating it because we know how difficult that schedule has been. And yeah, those are just games that are really tough to come on the right side of, especially the last 3 that you've played. So, yeah, it's we know this is gonna be a big challenge, and we know that Oregon State's gonna turn on that tape from Boise State and see how they were able to shut down our passing game and how they were able to throw the ball effectively against our defense. And yeah, if we can't correct those things, then I think you're going to be nervous about anybody coming in that has that type of research to be able to take on playing against a team like App.
Here's a pro tip real quick for this weekend. Force Oregon State to kick field goals.
Dude, yeah. No. If honestly, if we can snap it, hold it, and get the ball in the air, that's a win, dude. Because Adam, it's been bad. I don't know how much you've been watching Oregon State this season. They put the special in special teams. They really do. And that's what's lost them at least 2 games. So it's if they could just put the ball in the air on field goals, it's a win for us. But Adam, man, thank you so much for taking 30 minutes out of your week to do this for us. It's a weird matchup, and maybe in 2032, if we're still around, we'll do this again. If they figure out this scheduling thing, because the Pac-12 is only going to have 7 conference games next year, they got to fill in 2 more games. Maybe we see each other a lot sooner than we know. Maybe before 2032. That still seems so far away. But man, any last thoughts? Anything? Do you have a podcast on the side you want to plug? Anything like that, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, we do I'm part of the official podcast that we have, Nothing But an App State podcast. So if fans want to learn more about our team and some of the storylines, we've got our weekly Mountaineer Talk coaches show. Depending on when this drops, we do it on Wednesday nights that would be 3:00 Pacific is when that show airs live. But if you just search for Nothing But an App State podcast, that's where you can find our weekly show. We post our coaches show there. So if folks want to be able to get some more research and information about our program, that's where you can find it.
Awesome, man. Great stuff. All right, Pete, Coach Clark, man. Adam, thank you so much again. Go Neers, go Beavs, and hopefully you can call our first win this season. That'd be great, huh?
You had me up until that part.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Adam Witten, man. App State guy through and through. He's cool, man. It's really interesting kind of getting guys that we don't have any connections to it all. Like Appalachian State and Oregon State have never played in football. And it's just interesting how our paths cross now, and they probably will again. Obviously, they will in 2032 at least, but they probably will again with this whole new scheduling agreement they're trying to figure out. But we talked a little bit to Adam afterwards, and I'll spill some of the beans, man. He's worried about his offensive line. They're not very healthy up front. He's worried about their defense. They can't really cover guys. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for Oregon State to get things right. This is this is all you could want. Yeah, I get it. You have to go all the way across country to Boone, North Carolina, which sounds like an amazing place. And you get to play in front of a sold out crowd that loves their Mountaineer football. But look, man, this is not the App State team that beat Texas A&M a handful of years ago. This is not that team. This is a team that you can handle. And again, it's a road game. I know how it is with Oregon State when they put on the white jerseys. I understand that. But this is this is a much different scenario. I think the Beavers can absolutely line up against these guys, and I think they can take it to them. Because what we saw from App State against Boise State was they struggled to tackle, they struggled to cover, and they struggled to throw the ball. That's three things that are just terrible. Okay, like Oregon State needs to expose these things, and let's just take our own special teams out of the equation. Don't even make it a factor at all. Let's put the ball in the end zone. Let's just kick the PAT and let's go from there. Josh, buddy, how are you feeling after talking to Adam, getting a better feel for the App State Neers?
You have to feel a little bit better, right? You got to feel like you have some hope going into Saturday. And again, like I said earlier, every struggle that he talks about, it seems like it's every struggle that Oregon State's struggling with right now. And if you look at the game right now, it feels like it's a get right game for one of these teams. Like one of them, like it's either going to be App State or Oregon State. They're going to figure it out and they're going to put all the puzzle pieces together. And that might be what the turning point for their season is going forward. I don't, is that going to happen for Oregon State? I don't know. Is it going to happen for App State? I don't know. We'll find out Saturday at 12:30 on ESPN Plus. But um, I I don't I feel a little bit better, Rob. That is just the honest answer to that question. I still don't feel great. Again, until this team goes out and wins a football game, I can't pick them to win. And that spoils my score predictions. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I have little to no faith in this offense being able to go down and score points effectively. And that's what you need. And you talked about it. If you're going to win football games, when you get a 14-0 lead, you have to keep the gas pedal down. It's kill or be killed mode from that point forward. You can't be letting Houston, App State, whoever it is, come back and beat you. That's just, it's unexcusable. It's not what Oregon State football is about, man. And again, we're 5 games into this. I don't know what the identity of this football program is. I don't. They don't have one. It's not a team that's going to go out and run the clock down because they have a run game. They don't. Hank looks slow, ineffective right now, and I think you saw the emergence of a backup running back last week, or a potentially RB1 in my opinion, in Hatcher, because first of all, he runs quick, he runs downhill quick, and he's not afraid of contact. And that's what you need right now. You need someone that's going to come out and they're going to give you energy, and that's what you felt like that was on Friday against Houston. You got some energy from Hatcher. So I'm here for it, right? But who steps up? Is it Malik? Is it Trent Walker? Is it Bryce Caulfield? Is it Eddie? Who is it? Where's Zach Card, first of all?
Dude, yeah, what? That dude never plays.
I don't get
Surely he could do what David Wells does, right? Surely he could.
And probably a lot faster also, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
So I don't, Rob, there's so many question marks. Again, 5 games into a season that we don't have answers to. And it's just, the reality of it is it's just so concerning. But the flip side of it is, if their season starts now and they start putting some wins together, you're obviously going to feel pretty great about that if they can squeak out 6 wins, right? You're not going to be mad about it, considering what you've looked at so far and seen this season. They have to find it. They have to ignite that fire, and they have to continue and carry that from game to game.
Couldn't agree more, man. My keys to the game against Appalachian State. on ESPN Plus, like you mentioned. That was what the fart noise was for, dude. These ESPN Plus broadcasts are just horrible. Go listen to Adam for a little bit. Go listen to Mike Parker, man. Don't listen to this D plus ESPN squad that's about to be on this game. It's going to be horrible. But my three keys are bend, don't break on defense. This App State team can definitely move the ball a little bit. If their quarterback situation is a little bit shored up, I think AJ can get the ball up and down the field a little bit on our DBs. But they've had a hard time punching the ball in from the red zone. They've stalled out. They kicked a lot of field goals this season. I think the Beavers need to do the exact same thing. Let's try to if they need to move the ball from the 20 to the 20, so be it. That's fine. Shrink them and try to get a turnover in the red zone or whatever the case is, and just bend, don't break. Just keep playing, boys. My next one is to get into space and make them tackle. Their linebackers, man, they are undersized. They are slow. That is an opportunity for Bryce Caulfield to go off, dude. This is one of these games where Bryce has to be a consistent contributor. Also, out of Taz Reddix, out of David Wells, or if it's going to be Eddie Freeoff, I need other guys to get into space because we know what Trent can do. Trent can catch the ball and get a little bit of yards after catch, but he's not really that kind of guy to get into space and run away. I need the guys who have the ability to run away to run away. That's what we need to do on Saturday. And that is my last point is explosive plays. Either in the run game or in the passing game. We need to just have bigger plays on offense. I want to see a 60-yard touchdown at some point. I want to see a 50-yard touchdown, whatever the case is. We just haven't seen that this year yet. And I need to see that against App State because this defense is definitely doable for Oregon State. Josh, buddy, your three keys.
I came in blind to this, right? I wanted to hear what Adam had to say, and talking to you always makes me feel better. Kind of leveled me out and stuff like that. But
that's what I'm here for.
I think my biggest key this week is just go out and play 4 quarters of football, right? Just go out and play the brand of football that you want to play. Okay. I know Malik is questionable right now with a hand injury. Is that their excuse where we don't see Malik play this week? Maybe. I don't know. But if you do go to a backup quarterback, how does Johnson step up, right? It's no easy task for.
I mean, honestly, too, is Jabari even the guy they really want to go to as a backup? I feel like
that brings up my next question. Mm-hmm. Who should be really starting if Malik is out, Rob?
You know who I'm going to say, bro.
Let's hear it.
Mr. Tristan Tia from my high school, Amador Valley High School, baby, in Pleasanton, California. Tia. 4-star quarterback, man.
It brings up a funny conversation right now. We've been recording and it's almost 11 o'clock for you, but if they really if Malik really doesn't play, what does it hurt not playing Tristan, right? I mean,
you and I talked earlier today on the phone, right? And what Trent Bray, he was asked this question last year when things were kind of going south, right? Remember that when Ben Branson was really struggling? Yeah. It was like, why don't you just play Jabari Johnson? Like, what are we doing here? And Trent's answer to that was like, well, we think about a current mindset with this football team. Like, we don't think about the future that much. We want to just do it week to week, which I understand that. Okay, it's college football. Like, with roster turnover and all that, like, yeah, what is the point of playing for the future? You're going to have a whole new team anyway. But at the same time, it's like, I want to see what we have in Tristan Tia, dude, because this kid could have all the intangibles to be a really good quarterback at Oregon State, especially in this new conference coming ahead. But he could also struggle. Okay, then now you know what you have. And same with Callan Guttridge, too. It's like, might as well give him a shot. I heard he can scoot a little bit. He can run. Why don't we use him a little bit instead of Jabari? Because, dude, whenever I see Jabari out there against Power 4 programs, he cannot run away from these guys. It's very obvious. Like, yeah, he's still shifty. He can still get around and like get 4 or 5 yards, but it's not like he's running away like he did against Washington State last year. That was the only time where we saw like Jabari get loose. It's not helping him. And honestly, too, when Jabari comes in the game, dude, everyone in the world knows what's going on. We've put enough film out there of Jabari to be like, hey, guess what's coming here? We're going to run the option. I gave it away. And if Jabari does throw the ball, it's short of the sticks. It's always like at the line of scrimmage. He's not slinging it down. He's not doing that. So, yeah, Josh, who would you like and this is what I think too. Like, has the has the Malik is injured, he can't play talk started already with an 0-5 team? You got $1.5 million quarterback all of a sudden not playing because he's got a bad non-throwing hand. Has that narrative started, or is he going to play on Saturday?
Yeah, that I think that just kind of just bounces back what I was asking right there is if that's the narrative they're going to go with, and it's just time to move on from it, right? You got to swallow that $1.5 million paycheck that you wrote, and you just got to be okay with moving on from it. Now, I don't. I would really hate for that to be the reason why Malik doesn't go out. I think Malik is a great competitor. I think he's a very good quarterback, and I don't know what pieces are missing this year that didn't transfer with him last year, but I hope that's not the case. I hope Malik is able to play on Saturday, and I hope Malik can go out and get his first win for this Oregon State team, and we can comfortably say, "Hey, Malik did his thing for us," right? But that flips over to my worries of the game is if Malik doesn't play, are you instantly going to just look at a loss right away? Because in a situation where Malik feels like he's the only capable person of winning games for you, which he's not winning games for you right now, who is that person in the quarterback room? I don't mind throwing Tristan out there whatsoever,
I don't know if the
but
coaching staff is actually ready to play him at like all, but like
no.
we'll
But that's the
see.
thing is, great if it happens. If it doesn't, oh well. But you have to go out. You have to find a way to win this game. There's no questions asked. You have to win this week. I don't know what inspirational video they have to go watch. It needs to get watched, and it needs to be watched immediately because Rob, if you lose this week, you may have 300 fans at Reser for your next 4 home games. I'm being honest with
Dude,
you.
yeah, they have a lot of
It's
home games coming up.
it's just what it is. And if I'm the athletic department, the university, I'm selling tickets or I'm buy one get one free. Get people in those seats. Do something to where people don't want to pay to go see this football team right now. Well, make them go watch this football team with free tickets. Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So that's my worry of the game. Rob, what's yours? You have a nice list and already prepared for us, which I appreciate you, Rob. Thank you so much for doing
If
that.
there's one thing I'm going to put my heart and soul into, it's this podcast, brother, which last week, third lowest listens for us. So shout out to our fan base for giving up. Uh, my three worries, typical, road game. We're putting on the white jerseys. It's just been bad news. Bad news Beavs when we're on the road. And App State's run D, like Adam mentioned, it's been solid. They slowed down Boise State's rushing attack. And again, Oregon State not consistent enough in the running game, so probably going to have to do it in the air, which I'm okay with. Let's get some rhythm in the passing game a little bit more. And my last worry is today, like I mentioned earlier, Trent Bray's press conference was concerning today. He handled the tough questions pretty well, but the reiteration of faith in Coach Christian is just silly. It's just not smart to do right now. This is the first time where I've, kind of questioned Trent Bray as the head guy, really. And I've answered that question before of I don't know if he's a head coach. And right now it's leaning towards he's definitely not right now. He's a great defensive coordinator. We saw him do a great job getting this team ready to play against Houston. For 3.5 quarters, they shut them down. They couldn't hardly do anything on offense. And it's just, again, incredible we lost that game. Same thing with Fresno State. Incredible we lost that game too. But I still think Trent Bray's a great defensive coach. Is he a head coach? That's still I don't think so. And I don't want to jump completely to no. Right now it's an I don't think so. But he's got to prove it right now, man. These next 6 games, you got to go out and win these next 6 games. Rattle them off, baby. Let's get bowl eligible. And then we can start, at the bye week. Then you can be like, hey, Coach Christian's gone. We have a bye week to figure out special teams. Is the special teams all of a sudden going to get better? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. You have to give it a shot. You got to start fresh in that scenario. But let's bring us to this Hannah Grace score predictions as we wind down. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer podcast. Sorry, guys, but if you're listening, again, you're the best. We appreciate you for coming back. This score prediction is brought to you by the Hannah Grace Family, a nonprofit located in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon City, Oregon. Hannah Grace is a local organization that serves foster children and children facing instability through a few music program, visitations, support, and more. Be on the lookout for more info on their upcoming annual fall fundraising banquet on October 11th at hannahgrace.org. Josh, buddy, I have the Beavers winning and running away 35-21. It starts on Saturday. Go ahead, Josh.
It's funny you have them scoring over 30 points, which they refuse to do all year. But
It starts on Saturday.
um, you know what? Bees by a million this week. Why not?
You said you go pick him to lose.
Bees by
Are
a
you
million
letting me
this week.
sway you?
I think here's the reality of this. I think they figure it out this week. Okay, I think they're going to win. I just can't pick them to win. Okay, I don't trust this special teams thing that we throw on the field every week. I don't trust a coach that is supposedly coaching this thing that we throw on the field each week. I think I think Bray's feeling a lot of pressure right now, and I think he realizes it's time to win games. Okay, so I think they go out and win. I think if I have a score in mind, I think they win. I think they win 30-21, but I'm picking them to lose.
Do we get a safety in there?
Yeah, dude. That's what happens at Oregon State. I think since I'm picking them to lose, I don't think they lose by much. I think App State gets 20-17. I think you have two struggling offenses,
Man.
and I think it's just the dumps right now. And unfortunately, until they win, I just can't do it.
Yeah, and, too, App State threw 2 pick sixes last week. If you score less than 30 against this App State team right now, then yeah, I can officially put in my please move on from this offensive coaching staff petition, and I can, start
I've already
actually
started it,
getting on
bro.
this, get rid of Ryan Gunderson. Like,
I'm already on it. I'm
if they
top
don't
of the
score
petition.
30 against App State, we have big time issues.
You
Now,
heard
I
it here
want,
first. It's not going to happen.
all right, well, I think it will. It starts on Saturday, baby. Come on, boys. It starts on Saturday. It has to. Again, like I said last week, if nobody else is going to believe, I will. Okay. I think we need to get away with a win here. And I know I want to leave you all with this. I know the off-field issues, the NIL, Blueprint Sports. There's a lot of Josh has been going back and forth with some Beaver fans about the Beaver GM thing. Okay. All of that stuff is just outside noise right now. You should be blaming Scott Barnes. Why are you mad at this? You should do doing this. What Brent Blaylock doing? It's like there's a lot of moving parts going on right now. And I don't really understand a whole lot of it. I don't even know what Blueprint Sports truly is. They have like 1,100 followers on Instagram. They don't seem like that big of a deal. And there's like talks of boycotting games from our own fans. That is incredibly stupid, y'all. You know how sad it looked on Friday night against Houston, man? Turn on ESPN. And what? You don't want to drive down I-5. I understand it's a Friday night. Traffic's bad. Take the hour PTO or sneak out early. Okay. Most of you probably work from home anyway. Like, the excuse of not showing up is because like, I don't like this athletic department. I don't want to give my money to them. It's about supporting the players on the field, man. They want you to show up. Think about Skylar Thomas. Think about Trent Walker, Anthony Hankerson. These guys who work their ass off every single week to get better, and they don't want to be 0-5. They're not purposely out here trying to be 0-5. It's not on. I know Malik's had his struggles, and I've said my piece about him, but it's not completely on him. A lot of it's been on special teams, losing games. Okay, then it's the defense letting easy scores happen late in games, and then it's the offense getting too complacent. There's a lot of factors into this. A dead crowd is not going to help them. The students leaving at halftime is clearly not going to help them. It needs juice, okay? And there's going to be 4 home games in a row. Yes, I understand Lafayette, Sam Houston, horrible football programs, going to be boring games, I understand, but they're going to be super cheap tickets, y'all. Go to the game. You only get 7 home games this year. That's a blessing to have 7. Go to the games if you're able to. Again, like I said last week, if I could, man, I would. I'm going to be at the Wazoo game regardless of the record. I'm going to try to go to the Tulsa game regardless of the record. Show up for the players. It means a lot to them, man. Wake Forest and Wazoo, that crowd better be bumping, dude. I swear, if it's not, it's not going to be bumping. I know it's not because we have a crybaby fan base most of the time, but it's sad, man. I'm really at that point where if our fans aren't going to show up because like, oh, WAN conference realignment, we got that, I don't like Scott Barnes. They should be fired. Wah. Again, my point, and I'm going to keep making. Oklahoma State still shows up for their team. Virginia Tech still showed up for their team. Mississippi State showed up for their team when they were terrible for so many years. Arkansas still shows up for their team. Big time football programs, fans, show up no matter what. Oh, I went through 28 years of losing. Cool. You should be showing up. You know how it is then. Show up to the game. The players need you. We need you. Thank you for listening. Josh, any last words?
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs. It starts on Saturday.